Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a 1988 Suzuki Vitara that has been standing since 2004. Well, it's been off the road since 2004. A couple of years ago I tried to resurrect it and fitted a new fuel tank because the fuel tank was rotten, and did a few other bits because the brakes were bound up. It still needs attention to the brakes, although they do work, and it's now trying to get it running, but at the moment we've got a crank no start on this. Pushed it in yesterday with a lot of strain and struggle, and I've put a battery on charge, so I'm going to fit the battery now and we'll see if we can get it running. And I've got a battery here charged up, and I'll just fit that. Always remember when fitting a battery that you'll fit the positive terminal first and then the negative, because if I was to touch that metal now and the negative was connected, I would arc out between there and there, possibly ruining the battery and definitely burning my hand, because that spanner would heat up. And of course, when you take a battery off, you always take the negative off first, unless of course it's a positive earth vehicle, and then it's the other way around. Okay, let's see what we've got. Right, definitely a crank and no start. So, where to start? I think the first thing is to see if we have a spark, because it needs a spark, compression. I know it's got reasonable compression because I can hear it as it's turning over. So the first thing to do is check to see if we've got a spark, and to do that I've got a spark plug. The spare one, I think it was off the motorcycle, doesn't matter. I know it works, so first thing we'll do is take that off, plug that into there, I shall put this on the metal of that, and let's get you in a better position so you can see what's happening. That should be slightly better. There's the plug just there. Got one of these, which is a remote start. I'll just plug that on, and I'll put that on that one, that one. Make sure the cable doesn't go anywhere near the fan. Turn the ignition on, and I'll turn the light off, well, dim the light slightly, and hopefully we'll be able to see a spark. Oh yeah, we've got a nice spark there. I don't know if you saw that. I'm not holding on to it because I don't want to get zapped. I'll try again. Yep, got a good spark. Nice. Turn off the ignition, and I'll put that back in there. So, looks like we've got no fuel coming. So first thing, I suppose, is the air cleaner off. And turn the light back on. And see what we've got in here. little parts tray. That's the two bolts that hold the top. Now the wing nut. Okay. Right, we'll try that again. This time I'll just dribble a bit of petrol. Yeah, we've got some fuel here in this bottle. I'll just put a little dribble down the carburetor like that. We'll just see if it fires. Well, that's good. I have put 2 gallons of fuel in the tank, so we'll see now if there's any fuel coming to the carburetor. Well, that's dry, but I don't expect that to pump straight away. So if I put this inside the bottle like that, we'll turn it over and see if some petrol comes out. So nothing coming out of there. So you can see the fuel pump just behind here. There's nothing coming out of here. So I know that on this carburetor, this hole here will actually fill up the float bowl. I haven't got very much fuel here, but I'm going to try and fill it up from here with what I've got, and then I'm going to try and start it for a few moments, and if it runs and still nothing comes out of here, I can conclude that that fuel pump is probably dead. I'm going to try again. That's it for the fuel, and there's no fuel coming out of that pipe, so that means there's either a blockage in the fuel line, which is unlikely because it had fresh petrol in it a couple of years ago, which was then drained out when it was left. It's got a new filter a couple of years ago again, and I've put fresh fuel in it now, so I can conclude from that that pump is probably dead, which is a bit of a pain. I'll have a quick look to see if I've got an electric pump, and maybe we can switch it over to an electric pump and make the damn thing work. Well, it would be interesting to see if the electric pump pumped fuel up. So let's see if I can find one. Okay, I've had a route around and found a little electric pump, fuel pump. Should work. So bolt it on and connect up the pipe from the tank and see if it's going to work. There's a handy bolt there, so I'll just bolt the earth or the negative for the pump onto that. Give it. Find out if there's a live wire there somewhere. That'll run this pump. volts, 20 volts, and need it to come on with the ignition, so I'll probably find there's something here. Nothing there. Turn the ignition on and see if we get something. Now the ignition's on. First one, 12 volts. 12.3 volts. What's that one there? Does this pump work? Yes, the pump works. So you can turn that off. I'll plug that in, just there. So now we know that the pump will work when I switch it on. I'm finished with that. Now, this is the pipe coming into the pump, so I shall disconnect that. That's got it, and that's dry as well. Let's just plug this onto this pump like that, and tighten this up so it doesn't draw air. Put the end of that little hose in the bottle, turn the ignition on and see if we get any fuel out. If we do, then I'll work a way of mounting this pump, and we'll use the electric pump. Okay, that's tight. I've got my little bottle. I'll put my pipe in there so it doesn't fall over. I think that'll be okay. Turn the ignition on, see if we got fuel. Yes, we have. Dirty fuel. Very dirty fuel. There must have been dirt in the bottom of the tank. Look at that. That's absolutely filthy. I think the best idea is to drain it and put some more fresh fuel in. First of all, I make a bracket for this. Right, what I've set up here, I've decided to drain the tank using the pump. Got the pump set up here like we had before. Got a piece of tube coming from the pipe, from the pump, down into a large petrol container. And just turn it on with my jumper wire. Now look, that looks relatively clear. I wonder if there was just some rust in the pipe. Let me have a look and turn that off. Couple of little drops. Well, yeah, that appears to be pretty clean now. Yeah, it's quite nice. Must have been just dirt in the line, or maybe just in the pump, because the pump's been standing for ages. Right, I'll just put this on here and turn it on and see if it fills the float bowl. It's got it. Right, let's turn it on without the ignition to start with and see if it fills the float bowl. Now the float bowl should be full, so now what I'll do, I'll try and start it again. If it starts and keeps running, because it did run out of fuel the last time, then we'll know the carburetor is working okay. Ignition is on. And that was a float bowl full of fuel, and that seems to have done the job. So all I need now is a bracket to mount that permanently. Make a better job of this because that's only a temporary thing. Wire that in, make sure that this is fused. If it is, then all well and good, and I'll plug it straight into there again, and looks like we've got it up and running. It is automatic choke, so, and the choke is still on. Excellent. Now I shall make a bracket and bring you back when I've made the bracket. Okay, so I bent up a piece of aluminium tread plate, which I thought would be quite interesting. Drilled a few holes in it. There was one hole in it already, so that will go on to where those two bolt holes are, and that will bolt to the pump. I measured the pump, appears to bolt to it, so I'll just get that bolted up. Well, that worked out really nice. That's bolted on there, a little flange, and pumps on, and I've got the earth wire there for the pump. Still got positive wire loose, and I've got to sort out this mess here, see if I can get it somewhat tidier. I think what I'll do is route this underneath here and try and keep the bend as shallow as possible, something like that. And yeah, if I cut this pipe off and insert it into that, that should do the job. And put that clamp up and check for leaks. There's a leaking there. Okay, good enough. Just get rid of that leak. It's not quite on far enough. Just push that back down there. Right, and we'll try it again. Right, the hose have come off. Try it again and make sure it doesn't leak. No leaks. Excellent. We'll try and start it up again. This time, got a bolt here. Put in this pipe. Stop the air leak. Just while the air filter's off. I'll open the door so I don't gas myself. Oh, by the way, that is fused. This power supply, and it is a 10 amp fuse. So quite safe. Job done. And now we'll give it a go. See if we've got a running engine. Lovely, success. It runs. Next time we'll find out if it moves. Hasn't moved for years, only under push power. So that was fairly simple to get going. Not too many problems. You can see there's a couple of hoses off here and there. They'll need to be addressed. These carburetors, the little Suzuki carburetors, have got so many vacuum pipes coming off them. I'll have to go around and see where that one's come from and reconnect. But yeah, a successful time was had by all, by the look of it. That's worked out quite well. This is going to be temporary for now, I think, until maybe I can get another pump for it. But parts for these are really hard to come by now. This is a 1988 version. I think I told you that at the beginning. But it's 1988, and what makes this fairly rare is the fact that it's a wide boy and it's got the bigger arches on it. And there's one other thing that makes it very rare, and that is it's an automatic. Now, I have never seen another automatic one of these. I'm sure there'll be people out there that can say, oh yes, I've seen an automatic, but an automatic wide boy, never seen one. So as far as I'm aware, this is the only one I've ever seen, and I worked with quite a few of these over the years. Yeah, that's about it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this. It hasn't been that exciting, but at least I got it running. Next week I'll probably do something slightly different, and then the following week we'll go back on this and I'll do some more on this. But in the meantime, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.